Hey, sounds pretty good, right? Well, pretty soon there's a pretty good chance that old lady and that little girl are gonna sound downright terrible.
It's a little bit comparable with Formula One racing, that we need top-line mechanics who can work in that specialised area, as well as those sort of mechanics who can do everyday cars very well. We're at the situation certainly in southern Tasmania where there's a lack in both areas.
That woman is the head of the Tasmanian Music Teachers Association, my old job, and she's discussing an acute shortage that's specific to her region. They're running out of piano tuners.
It seemed to attract a lot of very, very interesting artists and actors and people to live here. We haven't been able to get a new piano tuner.
A piano tuner, of course, is a very specific type of tradesperson that knows how to keep these instruments sharp and sounding good.
It would be tragic for some of these instruments not to be maintained, to deteriorate.
So right now, in southern Tasmania, there is only one piano tuner left who has the technical skills and knowledge needed to maintain concert pianos. And he's on the verge of retiring. And for non-concert pianos in the region, demand calls for 6 piano tuners. But there are only 2 or 3 who can accommodate that right now. And that's just for Tasmania. A Guardian report from August spoke to another piano tuner in Melbourne who estimates there are just 250 piano tuners left in the entire country. So what's going on? Are people just not into Ben Folds anymore, even though he's written some of his best songs in Australia or about Australia? Yes, I'm talking about Adelaide from 2004's Super D EP, which is a 20-year-old incredibly deep cut. But I figured if you're still watching a video about piano tuners, you might be inclined to stay with me during an obscure pop culture detour. Anyway, Kalamazoo's on that album too. A lack of piano tuners isn't just unwinding strings down under. Last year, Pittsburgh's NPR station tagged along with a local piano tuner who observed that the demand for piano tuning has dropped off thanks to declining piano sales in favor of digital or electronic instruments. And just like a scene out of an old silent film, the National Association of Music Merchants claims that over the past decade, upright piano sales have fallen by 41.1%. and grand piano sales have plummeted by 61.1%. Perhaps it's no surprise then that here in the States, the website Career Explorer gives piano tuners an F employability rating. So what's the solution? We put up Carnegie Hall for rent and lock ourselves at home like Bo Burnham and crank out songs on MIDI controllers? Well, down under, that music teacher from before reached out to the Tasmanian Symphony Orchestra, and they came up with an interesting solution. A training scholarship that will enable 2 piano tuners to work in Tasmania.
Over the last 30 years, all of the courses where you would go to learn how to tune pianos, voice and regulate pianos have gradually wound down.
She's with the Tasmanian Symphony Orchestra, and here's how this all would work, according to this application form. Piano tuner training would take place in Sydney, and successful graduates would then agree to be based out of southern Tasmania and establish their piano tuning business there for at least 3 years.
What we really need is that pipeline of people coming through into the profession that can look after instruments that have often been in families for generations, all the instruments of schools, our university, and then of course the great concert instruments of Tasmania like the ones here at the TSO.
The application process closed in September, but this idea is a unique way to get technicians trained on a highly specific trade. Back here in the US, Steinway offers a similar apprenticeship program at its factory in New York City. As its website describes, it's a paid, full-time 2-year development program that offers hands-on work experience for not just piano tuning, but fabrication, assembly, and more. Applications for this apprenticeship are available now through January 2024, and those who successfully complete the apprenticeship program get offered a full-time job at the Steinway factory. How's that for a nice little coda?